What's going on, everyone? CJ back here with another episode of the Madden 23 Cupcake Relocation Franchise. Coming at you here in week 13, which is our bye week. Yes, indeed. Austin Armadillos are 5-7 on the season so far. So, not exactly the ideal situation that I would like to be in, but 5-7, let's be honest, it could be worse. I think that we already equated our win total from last season. I do believe that last season we did finish with 5 wins, and we have 5 wins here with still several games to go. So gonna be a shorter episode for you guys today, and the reason why, there's 2 reasons actually. Reason number 1 is, seeing as how it's week 13, I did think it was a good idea just to kind of update you guys on how the team is doing, what we're looking like right now, what our path to the playoffs are, how everyone's performed, and really what I'm planning on doing in the draft, the off season. Look, the gameplay is fun. I live and die by the gameplay, but I don't want to forget about the storyline aspect of this franchise. That is the main reason that I created it. And I want to make sure that we're looking at everybody, seeing how we're doing, and really just getting a better feel for this Austin Armadillos team here in year 2 of the rebuild. Second reason is because I am about to drop what I think is a banger video for you guys. It's not another series or anything like that. It's just a one-off video, but I've been putting a lot of time into it, and let's just say, without spoiling it, if you guys like rebuilds, make sure you check that out. So that video is done, 100% recorded, but it is taking me a long time to edit it. So I want to drop this video just so I'm not going like, 2 weeks without Madden 23 Cupcake Relocation Franchise content. But it's also a great time to do it, so it just makes the most sense to me. So right now, the Austin Armadillos, we are 5-7 on the season. However, there is a path to the playoffs. And what path might that be, you ask? Well, let's take a look and see. So over here on the AFC, we have our AFC South division rivals, the Tennessee Titans. They have the number 1 seed. Baltimore Ravens have the number 2 seed. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have the number 3 seed. New England Patriots, who we did play earlier in the season with that heartbreaker loss, they're the number 4 seed. LA Chargers, who won the Super Bowl last year, if you guys remember that, they are the number 5 seed. Las Vegas Raiders are the number 6 seed, and then the Buffalo Bills are the number 7 seed. We obviously are not on this screen right now. So what is our path to the playoffs? What do we have to do in order to make it to the promised land? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I will show you right now. So obviously the Bills being 6-5 and the Raiders being 7-5, we're going to have to surpass one of those 2 teams at some point if we have any aspiration of making the playoffs. Now, we also have several other teams as well who are ahead of us for those final 2 wild card positions. We got the Cincinnati Bengals, who we also played way back when in episode 1. We lost to them. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have the Indianapolis Colts, who we just can't seem to find a way to beat them. And then the Cleveland Browns, who we did beat earlier in a very strange game, might I add. So there's, 4 teams ahead of us, but ultimately it comes down to the Bills have to lose, the Raiders have to lose, and we have to win. I'm not saying that we necessarily have to win out, although that would be nice, but we're gonna have to put some kind of stretch together and also get a little bit of luck from the other teams. We do not, unfortunately, control our own destiny right now, as much as I wish that we did. But there is still a sliver of hope. We are still in the hunt, if you will. We get a look here at our remaining schedule, and obviously we are in the bye week right now, but next episode we're going to be taking on the Tennessee Titans, who we just cannot figure out a way to beat them. And then following that, in week 15, we take on the Indianapolis Colts. I feel like we've just been living in this AFC South right now. We've just, whoever made the schedule, first of all, screw you, because you put all of our AFC South games back to back. And I feel like the last 4 or 5 episodes, all we've been doing is taking on AFC South division opponents. Thank God the Jacksonville Jaguars are in here, because that is the only team that we seem to have figured out. Obviously, you see on your screen here, we beat them last week 38-28. So we take on the Titans, we take on the Colts, then we take on the Seahawks in week 16, and then the Broncos in week 17, who are not a playoff team. We did play them once, episode 2, or I'm sorry, technically that would be episode 3, but the second game in Cupcake Relocation Franchise history, we did play the Broncos and we lost, but that was way back in the Stone Age of this franchise. And then we cap off the season against the number 2 seed Baltimore Ravens, which I do not have a good feeling about. So it is going to be an uphill battle. It is going to be a difficult stretch. Nothing is going to be handed to us on a silver platter, and we are going to have to just figure it out. We're going to have to ball out. We are going to have to just play tremendous football if we want to get anywhere close to that ever illustrious playoff berth. So let's go ahead and just see how these Austin Armadillos have performed this season. And what better way to start out than going over the stats of the bald-headed bullet himself, Damon Sanders, who, might I add, does lead the league in passing yardage. He has 3,943 yards this season. I also want to say that he does lead the league in completions and attempts as well. And his touchdown interception ratio is positive, which really, that is a huge W for me. He has 22 touchdowns on the season to 16 interceptions. Is 16 interceptions good? No, it is not. But the fact that it is positive ratio, to me, that's a win. These two gentlemen right here, these two strapping young lads, Cam Newton not so young anymore, I don't think they had a positive interception touchdown ratio last season.
Bruh.
So having one with Damon Sanders is big. Now this is where it gets a little bit interesting, and we have made some moves here as of late if you've been watching and tuning in. So yes, Tony Pollard does lead our team in rushing yardage at 493. He has found pay dirt 7 times, which is nice, but he's only averaging 3.3 yards per carry, and we are no stranger to the struggles that Tony Pollard has had to go through this season. So last week we made a change. We started Dom Fitzpatrick against the Jacksonville Jaguars game, and he had over 100 yards. So Dom Fitzpatrick, I really think that he's going to be our running back. He's definitely going to be our running back for the rest of the season, so we can see how he does. He has 370 yards so far on the season. He has found pay dirt 7 times, and he's averaging almost 4 yards per carry, which is nice. Damon Sanders also kind of getting involved in the running game with, being a scrambler, escaping out of the pocket, etc. Receiving, Bruce Joyner is leading our team. He's over 1,000 yards receiving this season. And he has most definitely been Damon Sanders' favorite target, very much, or at least I hope someday, to be a Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes type of connection. He's got over 1,000 yards, averaging 90 per game, only found the end zone twice, which I would like to see that number higher. But the role that Bruce Joyner has played has been more heavily focused on, let's pick up this 3rd down. Let's pick up this 4th down. Let me bomb it to you 20, 30 yards down the field so you can get us in scoring position. That has been where Bruce Joyner has come up clutch. And let's be honest, let's face it, he's done a very good job. Mecole Hardman, kind of a sad story. He is obviously our number 1 wide receiver. He's been hurt for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think he had broken ribs or bruised ribs. We are going to get him back next week against Tennessee, which is huge. Prior to his injury, he was just really starting to come into his own. He was really balling out. He had a couple 100+ yard receiving games, and he is at 738 for the season and found the end zone 4 times. So it will be a welcome addition to get Mecole back in the lineup. This guy right here, he's a bit of a different story. So Marquez Callaway, yes, don't let the stats fool you. He is 610 yards so far receiving and has found the end zone 3 times. But we all know what has ailed Marquez Callaway and really ailed this team so far up until this point. Marquez Callaway has a lot of fumbles. He has not been able to hold on to the pigskin. He has had the slippery fingers, and he's up for a contract, and that's why we have not decided to extend him yet. I got to see him hold on to the ball. Really, if you've been watching since the beginning of the season, you would know that Marquez Callaway isn't even supposed to be on this team. I picked him up in free agency for the sole number one purpose of trading him to another team. I think it was maybe to get draft capital or a player. I don't remember. I barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning. But bottom line is Marquez Callaway was not supposed to be on this team, but he is, and he is actually our third leading wide receiver, but he has to learn how to hold on to that football. He has cost us some games, I feel like, because of the fumbles. Now, we got John Mechie, we got Jamal Agnew. They're also playing pretty good. Ball being dispersed around pretty nicely. I mean, it's, Damon Sanders has some good distribution going on. Ricky Seals-Jones has just proven to be a viable option at tight end number 2. And then our running backs, they've gotten involved in the passing game a little bit. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, we got Denzel Perryman leading us in tackles by a long shot. He's at 96. Next closest player, Devin McCourty, only at 63, which is about similar to his age. He might retire next season, so gotta watch that. Tackles for loss, also Denzel Perryman, and also Jalen Burnett. So Jalen Burnett was our number 1 overall pick in the past draft. He was also tied for the highest rated player. He's also kind of had a tough season in terms of staying healthy. He missed several games due to injury, but he came back from injury. He bounced back, and he has been playing great. Marcus Davenport's got 8 TFLs, and Ndamukong Suh. And then our linebackers, our corners, they're getting involved as well. As far as sacks, we haven't really got too much pressure. Definitely not as much as I would like to see. And Ndamukong Suh leads us in sacks. What? He is up for a contract extension, but I'm kind of worried that he might retire next season, so I haven't given it to him yet. But you can't argue with the numbers. You can't argue with the analytics. He is playing good football. He does lead our team in sacks. Marcus Davenport not far behind at 4. And then Jalen Burnett also at 3.5. So again, Jalen Burnett, we drafted him because we thought he could be that guy. Hasn't been that guy so far, but he hasn't been on the field as much as he should. And since he has been back on the field, I would say that he's kind of been that guy. Also got a few players who have 1 sack: Anthony Barr, Chris Harris, Troy Pride. Some guys like that. In terms of the INTs, Jason Verrett, who did miss last game due to a practice injury, he is leading the way for us at 3. Keegan McGriff, our other rookie, who is also tied for the highest rated overall player with Jason Verrett, Jalen Burnett. He has 2 interceptions. My man former Packer, he has 2, and then a few players have 1. So defense, though, that's where we got to get better. We are number 1 in the league in terms of offensive yards, number 16 in the league in terms of defensive yards. We are 13th in the league in points scored, so have been able to find the end zone, but we are almost dead last at 30th in terms of points allowed. So our defense has to figure it out here. Got a couple players who will show up on the yearly awards. Nothing for MVP, no coach of the year, at least not yet. But as far as offensive rookie of the year, Armadillos are dominating the board. We have Bruce Joyner, who is he will probably, get those honors. We got Damon Sanders, who is a close second, and also Dom Fitzpatrick. And as much as I would love to see Damon Sanders earn that award, because that would probably instantly boost him up to superstar dev, if Bruce Joyner gets it, he's already star, so he will also get superstar dev, and I would not be mad at that. So somebody on the Dillos is going to get offensive rookie of the year, and I think that is a true testament to how we drafted, and the players that we were able to scout and bring in. Speaking of the prospects, I'll show you guys kind of what my game plan is going into the draft. I spent a lot of time going through all these players that I have favorited here. Not going to go through all of them, but this is kind of where my headspace is. And please feel free, comment down below what you think I should do, if you agree with what I'm looking at so far, if you disagree, if you have any other suggestions. I love to get the communication going. I respond to all my comments, or at least I try to, and your guys' opinion is very important to me. So if you have any other suggestions, please feel free to let me know. But wide receiver is probably going to be what I target. first in the draft. So we got Melvin McLeod here. He is on the top of my board. 6'2", physical archetype receiver out of Texas A&M. Basically what he's good at, catching the freaking football. He has A, catch in traffic, A, catching, B, release, so he can get off the line pretty good, and then deep route running, being a C for a physical type of player. I will take that. Not the greatest of athletes, but he is very strong, and he can jump and go up and get that football. But really what entices me most about Melvin McLeod is his catching traits. He has A, catch in traffic, A, spectacular catch, A, carrying, so he's not going to fumble the ball. Cough, cough, Marquez Callaway. He can also run the short route, and he can get off the line of scrimmage pretty quick. And we haven't really looked to bring in, obviously, McCole Hardman. We brought him in. He's good, but I'm not sure if he's really a true number one wide receiver. So I want to look to target some young, good wide receivers. Now, if somehow Melvin McLeod was to get taken, Zay Kramer is also a viable option, and he is 100% scouted. So we know that he is a true round one talent. I think McLeod is better. Don't quote me on that, but if somehow McLeod goes, Zay Kramer, I could live with that as well. Now, probably also going to have to shake things up here because Patrick Bingham, the center, he is projected to go round 1 to 2, and I feel like I gotta get him. We have Justin Britt as our current center, but this guy can't stay healthy. He's got, glass bones or something. He is just always trotting off the field, always getting injured, and he's also getting older too. So Patrick Bingham, 6'5", out of Auburn. He is 23, which kind of sucks, but he's a good run blocker, run blocking, and let's be honest, we can't run the ball worth a damn this season, so having good run blocking is amazing. Also a good pass blocking at worst will be decent, a decent pass blocker. He has good impact blocking, good awareness. Not a tremendous athlete, but he's pretty fast, which I do like to see. But just his overall traits being an A run blocker and at worst a C pass blocker with A lead block, A awareness, A run block, B pass block power. His traits are really good. I went through all the centers. I did not see anybody better than Bingham. So that would mean that we would have to, Tony Pollard, close your ears here. Don't listen to this. We would have to trade up to acquire both of these players. It would not be possible to get them both. And Patrick Bingham is round 1 to 2, but I do not think he will make it into the second round. Now, somehow he did. I do think a good second option would be cornerback, and we got a couple good ones here. We got Adrian Shirley. He's probably the best cornerback that I've seen so far in the draft. But we also got Kamal Childers, who would be another good option as well. So we could always stand to get better in cornerback. We drafted a really good one last year. We picked up a pretty good one in free agency in Jason Verrett. And if we were able to get another good one in the draft, that would be a win. I would consider that a win. Jamal Sampson is somebody that I am definitely going to target heavily in the second round. He's a left guard. And again, Kenyon Green's our left guard right now, but we know we can shift those guys around. He's also injured right now too, Kenyon Green that is. But Jamal Sampson looks very good, B pass blocking, and at worst, an average run blocker. Now, he is a very good athlete, good to great in a lot of these categories. Only thing he's not is speed, but he is great to elite acceleration, which you like to see, and really just good traits all around. Good pass blocker, good lead blocker, at worst, to average run blocker. So I think that he would complement Patrick Bingham very well and be a nice 1-2 punch on that offensive line. Speaking of offensive line, this guy who just looks like his best friend just left the country, never to return. He just looks very happy to be here. Damian Henson, he's 6'5", 312 pounds, good size, for a guard, B run blocking, A to C pass blocking, also a very good athlete as well. I can almost guarantee you that I will find a way to get Damian Henson in the 3rd to 4th round. We also got tight end Will Bynes here. Now, some of you may remember we talked about Ronnie Ellerbe very early in the series, or very early in the season, that is. I think Ronnie Ellerbe will be one of the best players in the class, but it does not make any sense for us to go after him in the 1st round. We got Bruce Joyner, we got Ricky Seals-Jones. There's other positions that need a lot more attention and focus than tight end. But Will Bynes is a little bit of a different story. Now, he's projected to go in the 3rd to 4th round. He has A, run blocking, which I already love to see. He has A, catch in traffic. He's 6'5", possession type archetype. Pretty good athlete, not the greatest, but I mean above average. And again, just good traits all around. Very good blocker. I'm surprised that he's not a blocking archetype, having B, pass block and A, run block, but A, catch in traffic, A, short route. That's really good. That's pretty much what we use Ricky Seals-Jones for right now, those short route situations. And if Will Bynes is still there, I'm not saying I would get aggressive and make a move on him, but if he's still there, it would be hard to pass up. Now, there were also a lot of good linebackers as well, but a lot of them are projected to go in the early rounds, and I just don't think that that would be the smart move. There was nobody that I'm like, look, I gotta get this guy in the first round in terms of linebackers, but there's also some good talent down the board. I saw guys here like Justice Spencer, 6 feet tall, run stopper archetype, Miami Hurricanes, so I guess he may be Dom Fitzpatrick's former teammate. They would have to be. Nothing great, mind you, but again, we're talking about day 3 talent here. B, tackling, B, play rec, C, block shedding, A to C zone coverage. I do like that, especially now that we are in a 4-3. He would fit nicely as a pass coverage type of linebacker, which he's a run stopper, but also has good pass coverage, which is also interesting. And then A, hit power. It's nobody that's going to be like a cornerstone for our defense, but just in terms of value down the board, I think he's really good. I really do. And we also got some UDFAs. Now, bear in mind, we have 3 7th-round picks. Do we use all those? Probably not. But do we use some of them? I think absolutely. So this guy right here, first of all, greatest name in Madden history, Max freaking Beretta. I'm thinking about changing my name to that. It's so good. He's like a secret agent, former CIA operative or something like that. Max Beretta, the punter. Yes, is punter a position that you really look to target? No, but we got Johnny Townsend as our punter right now. And Max Beretta probably wouldn't even get drafted. And he also has great to elite kick power. And his name is a 99 rated overall in this game. So I will have to find a way to get Max Beretta. There was actually, believe it or not, quite a bit of UDFAs that caught my eye. I'm not going to go through all those here, but another position that's not the sexiest of positions, a fullback. We got Johnny Stanton right now, but Aries Hendricks, he's a blocking archetype. We do run a couple plays out of the I formation set. So he's got B, run blocking, which would be good. Not a great athlete, but he's a fullback, and some of these fullbacks, you gotta watch out. They sometimes have hidden development. So that is kind of where our team's at right now, guys. I mean, look, I'm happy. The #1 overall pass yards per game at 311. My man Damon Sanders is just balling out right now. We got the 13th overall offense. So, I mean, for a team that started out this bad, that's not really too bad, but we cannot find a way to stop allowing points. We cannot allow 30.3, as you see on the screen here, and expect to win games. It's just not realistic. We do defend the rush, though, which last year we did not. But that's where we're at so far, guys. Look, I will try my absolute best to get the next episode, Week 14 against the Titans, out here as soon as I possibly can. As I mentioned, I am working on a video that I think you guys will highly enjoy. It's about 65-70% of the way done. So I wanted to have this episode in kind of like a filler, but also just to update you guys. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that supported me. I am creeping up on 400 subscribers so far, and you guys have just been awesome. I've tried to be as engaged as possible in the comment section. Link to my Discord in the description below. If you want to join my Discord server, we can talk, we can chop it up, we can talk Madden, whatever the case may be, but I want to be as active with you guys as possible because you guys are awesome. And if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing that because we have been going strong with this Cupcake Relocation Franchise, and I have no plans on stopping, at least until Madden 24 comes out in August, and probably even after that comes out, depending on what you guys want. I might even run dual series. I might run a series on Madden 23, this series right here, the Cupcake Relocation Franchise, depending on where that team's at that point. And of course, I will definitely be running a series on Madden 24. So, Austin Armadillos, we are here. Path to the playoffs is right there in front of us. Is it an easy path? No. It is an uphill path with lots of obstacles, lots of boulders and rocks flying down at us, looking like a Super Mario type of level. We got to jump over stuff. We got to hurdle stuff. But look, nobody said it was going to be easy, but the point is, there is a path there. So I appreciate you guys, as always, tuning in. Sorry for the shorter episode this week, but I will get that Titans game out as soon as possible. Until next time, I will catch you then. Peace.